I just heard this loud grunting and I was like, what was that?
What up, my peeps? I'm John Lee. This is Sarah. We currently live and travel in our Ram Pro Master camper van, traveling through all 50 United States. And today we are actually back in South Carolina.
We are hitting up a spot that we missed the first time around, and that is Congaree National Park. It is beautiful here. It's another gorgeous day here in the South. And we are about to hit up this visitor center and see what kind of hikes we can do. And yeah, let's hit the trails.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about the spiders.
The spiders, what about them?
There is an insane amount of what is called the orb weaver. Wait. No, I have to get the name. A silk orb weaver spider. And they are absolutely everywhere.
They are huge. Oh, and there's a little one with that one. I don't know if you can tell, but Sarah hates spiders.
But I'm doing okay. They're not big and hairy, so it's tolerable.
There are hundreds of them just
Like,
in front of the visitor center here. I don't know how well you can see this, but there's a big web right there, big web right there, another one over there, another one there, another one over here. A couple up here. These spiders are everywhere. And they're huge.
Oh my god,
Well, finally.
Oh, over there.
ready?
I'm already pretty full, but I'm kind of...
I like that this one, you can like read it better, but I kind of like these. I
Yeah.
love these colors. Okay, so even though it's a little bit alarming that there's so many of these massive spiders, they are actually a really good thing for humans because they are completely non-venomous and they're not harmful to us. They run away if you get near them. They're not likely to attack at all. And the best thing is that when there's a ton of them around, they eat all of the mosquitoes and the flies. And so we have bug spray, but we shouldn't really have to worry as much like we did in Minnesota.
What?
You just almost walked into a spider web. Alright, so we are taking one of their more popular trails, which is a Boardwalk Trail, and we are doing the longer version, so it's going to be about 4.5 miles, and half of it is boardwalk, and then I think the other half is just normal trail. And there's, on the Boardwalk Trail, there's 17 stops, so there's like a little booklet with some information that we're going to read along the way.
Here's stop one.
And here we are at stop number 1. This American beech tree, identified by its smooth gray bark, is likely over 100 years old. The species was an important source of food in the floodplain for American Indians and early settlers. Beech nuts were collected and ground into flour for bread and meal cakes. That's cool. I'm always fascinated by how much like Native Americans and like early settlers, how they just used every piece or every part of like a tree or a plant and made something out of it. Like nothing went to waste. They knew how to make something out of like anything, which I think is so cool. Congaree National Park protects the largest remaining tract of old-growth bottomland hardwood forest in North America. This forest existed long before it was protected as a national park. The natural sounds you hear today are some of the same sounds heard by the Congaree and Catawba tribes that came here long ago. Take a moment to listen to the forest. You may be surprised by what you hear. The forest comes alive with the sounds of songbirds, frogs, and the wind blowing through the trees. What would this forest look and sound like if it had not been protected?
No, it reminds me of the trail we did at the high point before we got to the highest point of Thailand. Because we were on that boardwalk.
Like, that was like some of the best hiking we ever did. Was in Thailand,
In Thailand,
right?
yeah.
Like, It was just, I mean, you can't beat the views.
Yeah.
Like seeing the whole ocean and the shoreline, and then like all the limestone cliffs from that angle. Just a few miles from here, where the Congaree and Wateree rivers meet, a maroon settlement once existed. These settlements were comprised of individuals who escaped slavery on nearby plantations and formed their own independent communities. Rivers provided a means for travel, finding food, and acquiring supplies. Dense vegetation in the floodplain forest provided safety because of the difficulty it posed for slave owners and slave catchers attempting to traverse it in pursuit of those who had escaped. As a reporter and editor for the state newspaper, Harry Hampton began a campaign in the 1950s to save the Congaree River floodplain. An avid outdoorsman and hunter, he spent time exploring the old-growth forest. The Sims Trail you are crossing is a former road. Roads historically used by hunters, fishermen, and loggers are scattered throughout the park. They serve as a reminder of the long human history and use of the land. Many people, like Harry Hampton, had a strong connection to the forest and fought to protect it. Their efforts led to the establishment of Congaree Swamp National Monument in 1976, redesignated Congaree National Park in 2003. Fire has always been a natural occurrence in this forest. Today, the National Park Service manages the health of the forest through prescribed fires, which help restore the natural fire regime and provide habitat for the endangered red-cockaded woodpecker. Loblolly pines are tolerant of fire and are normally left unscathed when fire severity is low to moderate. This fallen loblolly continued to burn after a prescribed fire due to a naturally caused injury at the base of the trunk. After the tree fell, resource managers sectioned the tree to ensure the fire was fully extinguished. On September 21, 1989, Hurricane Hugo left its mark in this part of the forest. Accompanying tornadoes likely touched down here, leaving large open gaps in the canopy. Many large trees did not survive, but seedlings and vines sprouted afterwards due to the abundant sunlight reaching the forest floor. Disturbances like these play an active part in forest renewal. Standing dead trees are called snags. The tree itself may be dead, but snags are full of other life. Many species of insects, spiders, and fungi make their home in and on the dead wood. At the base of the snag, you will see the work of a pileated woodpecker. Water tupelos dominate the landscape here and are identified by their swollen trunks. These trees only grow where water is plentiful. You may notice moss on the lower part of the tree trunk. This is an indicator of the water level from previous floods. Flooding is a natural occurrence in Congaree National Park and is important for bringing fresh nutrients into the floodplain. The 18th Amendment was passed in 1919, prohibiting the sale and consumption of alcohol in the United States. Moonshiners and bootleggers found refuge in places like the Congaree River floodplain to earn a living. The iron box you see in the distance is an old still used to make alcohol. Water and corn squeezings were used to make a sour mash. The mash was heated and distilled through copper tubing to produce moonshine. The Congaree floodplain's difficult terrain and tall trees made a perfect place for moonshiners to hide stills and produce their illegal liquor. South Carolina is known as the palmetto state. It is named after the state tree, the cabbage palmetto. The short fan-like palms beside the boardwalk are dwarf palmettos, relatives of the cabbage palmetto. They are one of the hardest palms due to their ability to withstand freezing temperatures. Dwarf palmettos thrive best in wet, sandy areas where a disturbance like a hurricane causes a gap in the canopy, allowing sunlight to reach the forest floor. That's really interesting. So it's like adapted to hurricanes. That's crazy. The impressive height of Congaree's forest is the result of the rich soil, frequent flooding, a long growing season, and a history free of intensive logging. Here, the trees you see average over 130 feet in height, making Congaree one of the tallest deciduous forests in the world. The forest is rich in biodiversity, meaning it supports an abundance of many different kinds of living organisms.
I believe this is an oxbow lake, which is a lake that is formed when a stream or river cuts a corner and leaves a whole bend of the river separate.
Once a bend in the Congaree River, Weston Lake is now an oxbow lake. Over 2,000 years ago, the river gradually changed its course and meandered south, leaving behind Weston Lake. The lake is slowly filling in with clay and organic debris.
I basically just said that.
The majestic bald cypress trees produce knees that rise up from the roots of the tree and can be seen throughout the forest floor. While their function is not entirely understood, it is believed that the knees provide the tree with extra structural support during floods and high winds. Bald cypress trees can live to be over 1,000 years old. Bald cypress wood is rot and water resistant. The wood is often called wood eternal because it decays slowly and may remain in perfect condition after 100 years of use. Bald cypress trees were logged in the late 1800s and used in roof shingles, docks, bridges, cabinetry, and more, which is why so few old-growth bald cypress trees exist today. Off-roading.
All right, let's see where this takes us.
National Park PTSD.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched that one, we'll put it right here.
I do have a hat with the bug net now, but it's waiting for me in Georgia. Long story.
But until then, we're just going to get bit. We have bug spray, but
lots of it.
And lots of it, but it doesn't seem to be working as well as it was the last time, so at least for me. It's actually not too bad. a couple bites here and there.
It's just 'cause
Nothing
we're by the
crazy.
water.
Yeah, once you stop moving, the bugs swarm.
See what I have to do. Onward.
I see him over there.
Oh. Yes! We just saw pigs!
Wild hogs. I barely got a glimpse of them on the camera.
Oh man.
Oh, there they go. Right when I
Dang
hit
it.
stop, I can see them again.
I just heard this loud grunting and I was like, what was that? And it was wild hogs.
Well, recently we haven't seemed to really be very lucky seeing wildlife. But yeah, we just saw a couple wild hogs, which is really cool.
Yes. So cute. Did not expect that.
They actually made a grunting noise
And I was like,
and startled us. And then by the time we actually saw what it was, they were like a ways away at that point. But pretty cool.
yeah.
It's exciting.
I didn't even know those were here.
Yeah.
They didn't mention that at the visitor center.
No, they didn't. All right, my peeps, that should do it for our hike here in Congaree National Park. One of the lesser known national parks, I would think.
Yeah, it's kind of a smaller national park, but we hope you guys kind of got the gist of it and enjoyed it. It was a beautiful day here, and we got to see a lot of little critters. The only thing we didn't get to see was a snake.
Yes, supposedly they have some big king snakes, I believe they're called.
Yeah.
We didn't see any of those. They probably saw us, but we didn't see any of them.
Yes. And seeing the wild pigs was so cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
So
I wish we got better
unexpected.
video of those.
Yeah. Sorry if you guys couldn't really see those. It was kind of a last minute thing. And they kind of ran away from us as soon as we spotted them. So wasn't a great shot on those, but super cool to see.
Yeah. On that note, please like and subscribe to this video. It helps us a lot.
Please give us your feedback. Keep letting us know. We enjoy reading your comments. And we are excited to continue this journey with you guys.
Yes.
And we're just grateful for you. So thank you. And on that note, we will see you in the next video. Bye, everybody.